Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday to you. We are knee deep in the NFL Combine. I'm watching the replay of it now. DBs are running. I saw the tight ends run today, and was impressed by a lot of the tight ends. Wishing we could grab somebody like that, but we shall see. I know it all depends on what Dallas does. If he stays or if he goes, Reed Blankenship, does he stay? Does he go? The Kobe Dean, does he stay? Does he go? AJ Brown, does he stay? Does he go? What's going to happen, man? Yeah, everybody wants Sadiq after that 40 time, man. Everybody wants Sadiq. The funny thing about the NFL Combine, man. Here's the funny thing. Was anybody looking at Sadiq before he ran his time? What does his 40 time and his body of work look like? Because the NFL Combine has a bad habit of using a 40 time, using the drills they do at the Combine that overshadows the body of work. Because you're going to see a lot of guys that had great combines, but the season they didn't look very good. Or they looked phenomenal in the regular season, and then they get to the Combine and they have an average or below average combine performance. That does nothing to take away from what they did actually on the field. You see that all of the time. That's how people slip through the cracks. That's how this game goes. And that's how it goes. What's up, Dave? What's up, Ian? What's up, Carlos? So that's the biggest thing that I've taken from the Combine, the way it's changed over the years. When I was at the Combine, it was like you get to the Combine, get in, get out, try to get your best performance. Now they selling T-shirts and merch and popcorn and concessions, and the NFL found a way to make money off of it. This dude is moving 4.34. Woo! Traydon Stukes, DB, nicely done. 4.34 and a 4.32. You get below them 4.4s and you guaranteed to go somewhere, man. So yeah, that's definitely going to raise his stock up for sure. But that's exactly what I mean. Why did? And this is really where it comes to. You really got to look and do your homework and look at them teams. Lorenzo Styles is about to run. It's that DB from Ohio State. He's another one that had a pretty decent time, I believe. I think I've seen this replay before. But these. If you are below 4.3, he moving too. If you are below 4.3, somebody gonna talk to you. Somebody gonna talk to you. So the kid from O State, though, he just did the damn thing. When you run below a 4.3, you shouldn't even have to run again if you don't want to. Like, that's a waste of time. You already know what you need to know. You're just trying to break records. I don't know if there's a monetary, like a monetary thing for you if you break a record. I don't know, but you run below a 4.3. You should take your shoes off and just go on ahead on back to your hotel room. There ain't nothing else to prove. Watch my tape. Watch my tape. Look, because now this is something new. Now you run a time like that, he already on the phone with his agent. He already on the phone with his agent. So Carlos, they do mean some stuff. They do mean some stuff. This is their chance to get a look at people because you got to look at it like this, man. Like, I think people underestimate how many football players there are. I was lucky enough to get an invite to the combine, but I didn't have I won't say I didn't have a good combine. I didn't run a good 40 time. I didn't run a good 40 time. My shoes weren't very good, and I'm somebody that ran on grass my whole career. So when I get to Indianapolis, that turf was very, very soft, and I wasn't used to it. So I ran a 4.72, I think, and a 4.76. But when I had my pro day at my school, I ran a 4.48. So it can, but again, that's why you got to look at somebody's body of work. Because if you're having a bad day, if you tweak something, if you threw up in the hotel the night before, whatever the situation is, and you're not at your best, I think they take too much into this, and you got to watch the tape. But like I was just saying at the beginning of all of this, it's so many athletes. You can't watch tape on everybody. I mean, you can, but how many teams, how much are they going to spend? How much resources are they going to spend on you? Resources meaning everybody's got a scouting team. Every team has a scouting team. How many people are scouts? How many scouts they got for the Eagles? How many scouts they got for the Broncos? How many scouts they got for the Giants, for the Jets, for the Browns? So do they have 3? Do they have 6? Do they have 10? So the teams with the biggest, the longest pockets usually have the most resources. I remember my boy Willie T. Willie T used to be a scout for the Raiders before he got into the officiating and stuff like that. And he used to tell me, if they had their eye and they were looking at somebody, to draft in the first round, they would send people on campus and kind of spy things out and kind of, be in the cut, just kind of observe from a distance. Because if you about to drop $10 million on some kid and he don't want to go to class, or nowadays you find that he got a drinking problem and he got a problem handling women, or whatever the situation is, if there's something, they need to suss out everything before they do it. I've said this before. In my opinion, Big Dom is the one that got Jalen Carter, because after that accident, that horrible accident down there, after the national championship game, didn't nobody know what was going to happen with Jalen Carter, because his name was all over that thing, and then come to find out he ain't had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even in the car. His car was behind the other ones. Like, it was, they just threw him to the wolves. And people wanted to make money off of it and all of that type of stuff, man. So, you got to go down there and suss that stuff out. You got to do some real investigation. You got to do some homework. And these teams with long pockets, and I mean, let's be real, all the teams in the NFL got long pockets when it comes to stuff like that. They will send people down on campus and put spies in the classroom and all of that type of stuff, because you're going to think long and hard before you drop 10, 20 million on somebody, on some kid. Because nowadays they go into the nth degree. What's your home situation like? If we draft you, are you going to bring all your cousins and all your family up here to live with you? And is your focus going to be changed? If you bringing your cousins up, are your cousins the ones going to get you in trouble? Or do they keep you out of trouble? You have to look at all of that, because some of these dudes up here, it's not them, it's their family. And they think that loyalty thing and that family can cost them a lot of money. So you got to suss all of that stuff out. How do people handle situations? How do they handle rejection? How do they handle success? Look at the situation with Rakea Jackson and James Pierce. James Pierce was the first rounder. She was in the draft room with him. I remember seeing that. Now she's doing her own thing in the WNBA, but James Pierce has ruined his career. His career is over because he don't know how to handle himself around women. He got too much ego, and he basically he just don't know how to handle himself. And there's a lot of guys like that. A lot of guys like that. When you get money like that, somebody drops 13 million signing bonus, and you got more money than you've ever seen in your life, and you got everybody, looking up to you because now you the bankroll. You the bankroll. You done bought mama a house, daddy a house, cousin a house, play cousins, sisters, got cars, all of that kind of stuff. You bankrolling all of that stuff. And then you think you can get away with some things that you can't. And James Pierce, I don't know what the situation was between him and Rakea and how it went south. And I don't know none of that. All I know is that she tried to leave and he didn't want her to. And he went to the extreme to make sure that wasn't going to happen. And in the process, he almost killed some cops. Her too. His career is over. He's going to jail. He ran over a cop with his car because he couldn't handle the situation. When I got into the league, they had just started having these rookie symposiums. That was a new thing. And then they got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's a mandatory thing by the NFL. They have rookie symposiums, and I done heard stories about what they do because they go the extra mile to get that point across. And I remember hearing this story. This had to be about 5-10 years ago, probably longer than that. Where at the symposium, they had some real nice looking girl walking around like one of the hosts and telling people to go this way, that way, all that kind of stuff. And of course, what do you think is going to happen? Some of them dudes that was at the symposium, everybody know who they are. You got all of these young, good-looking dudes that's about to make a ton of money. So, yes, you're going to have some good-looking girls sniffing around, some baddies sniffing around. And they had this one girl, and everybody was hollering at her, and she was kicking game. And I know some guys that was trying to smash and all of that stuff. And then come to find out, she was a keynote speaker, and she was giving out her number to a couple dudes, and they thought they was going to do something. Come to find out she had AIDS. That was her purpose there. Her purpose was to let everybody know everybody ain't in your corner. And you got a whole bunch of people in the crowd doing one of these numbers like, oops. Like, yeah, she had everybody's number. I don't know if she outed everybody or I don't know how that worked. But everybody knew that shot their shot with her. Then she get up on stage and was like, hey, I want to let y'all know. Probably could have heard a pin drop. So the stuff that they do now is, and remember, that was years ago. So I could just imagine some of the stuff they doing now. What are they doing to combat the situation like with Deshaun Watson? Well, all these people going to the massage parlors and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, listen, man, you got money on top of money. You ain't got to go to nowhere like that. Hire somebody, or, what they tell the kids now is get with the guy on your team, whoever the head trainer is, and that head trainer will have a list of masseuses, have a list of cooks, chefs, all of that stuff. And they are verified legit within the team. But everybody want to do their own thing. Everybody want to try to dip and dab and try to do some stuff under the cut, and that's how they get caught. That's how they get caught. But the situation is getting worse. It ain't getting better because now you got these kids coming out of college with all this money. These NIL deals that messed up the game, and they got these kids thinking they're better than they actually are. But that's how the game goes. Ooh, 4.42. Good run, bro. Uh, what's that? Carlos talking to Tiff too. I don't believe most like to do. Carlos, I think you're wrong on that one. Most of them do like to do a pro day. Pro day, you at home, you comfortable, you familiar. If you a quarterback, look at Caleb Williams when he did his pro day. He's throwing to people he knows. Um, he's on his home turf. The best thing you can do in a workout is be as comfortable as possible. That's what you want to be. So if you can do your workout at home, um, and throw the ball to your boy, all of that type of stuff, you would choose to do that. You ain't got to travel. You ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about your plane being late or your luggage being lost. Different stuff like that that just takes your mind away from what you got to do. So people would rather be at home, work out at home, and then usually they'll come in, run a 40 time, catch a couple passes, depending on what position they play, or whoever's coming to scout them. They'll have specific drills. The teams know what to do. They know what to do. So yeah, family and friends is a big hassle, man. That is a big hassle. Look at great example. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He get more trouble from his little brother and his dad than anything else. Now, his dad is a grown ass man. I mean, shit, his brother's a grown ass man. But what do they say? What do they always say? Before they say anything else, they say Patrick Mahomes' dad. Um, Mahomes' dad played in the MLB, but he always getting arrested for drunk driving or something like that. And what do they always say? Patrick Mahomes' father. Then they give his name, and then they say what he did. And right, they say Patrick Mahomes' little brother, Jackson Mahomes. Then they want to say what he did. So, but they always let you know who they family is first. This is Patrick Mahomes' brother. This is Patrick Mahomes' dad. They do that first because they want the big story. So, um, it's a lot. It's a lot to look to think about. It's a lot to look at, especially when you got some of these people that come from the poor South or whatever. And when you do scout them, you ever seen them the draft parties and the dude be on the couch and it'd be like 30, 40 people in the house. What year was that? Where the dude he had his phone, he got a call, his girl picked up the phone, he took the phone from the girl and put it down and kind of embarrassed it on TV. He was like, "Don't answer my phone," like stuff like that. And it was like immediately, like you knew he wasn't gonna be with that girl long because they just trying to get their opportunity to. Who was that at 2 years ago at the draft? Um, what was the kid from Kentucky, the quarterback from Kentucky? Will Levis. Everybody was going nuts over his girlfriend at the time because the story was his girlfriend, the way she was looking, because she was fire. It was her, and then everybody was talking about him putting mayonnaise in his coffee. Those were the two stories. And then what happened? When he gets to the league, him and that girl split up with the quickness. But heck, I think she got so much pub from that draft day. I don't know what she's doing now. She probably got it doing her own thing now. I ain't no telling. That was CD Lamb. It's crazy. I remember was it Russell Wilson? It was somebody. It may have been CD Lamb. It was he had his girlfriend in there, and the girlfriend kept trying to hog the limelight. When he finally got drafted, the mother had literally had to push her out of the way. so she could get in and hug her son. And you see stuff like that, and it's crazy. But my point in all that is saying that there's so many things that revolve around this new nucleus that is the professional athlete, and this most of the time it ain't good. Most of the time it ain't good because you have no control over those people on the outside. They just want access to what you got, and they will take advantage of you in a hot second. I know that stuff with Deshaun Watson was crazy, but I'm sorry that them stories with all of them women coming out was not believable at all. Not at all. He went from paying one person to paying two people to 20 people coming out and saying something happened. And I was like, well, where was this 6 months ago? Like, how come all of a sudden now? Like, it was weird. And it was, but again, once again, my point is you become the target. You become the target. And you got to have a good group of people. But it gets these days, it's harder and harder because everybody is on social media and everybody is trying to get with you and see what you're doing. Hell, look at the dude. What was the dude? I forget his name. He was with the Eagles in 2022 when they went to the Super Bowl. And they kicked him off the team 2 weeks before the Super Bowl because some girl accused him of SA when he was in college, and she took it to the police. So she waited until the perfect time to bring it back up. Then after all of that, he missed his trip. They kicked him off the team. He was exonerated. So the only thing she did was screw up his life. And I hope he countersued her for false claims because it screwed up his life. So you targets and this stuff right here. I like watching the combine too, but I get names and then I reverse engineer it. I'm gonna get the names, the people that I like to see, the tight ends, and then I'm gonna work backwards and try to find and look at their body of work. Like, what do they look like on the field? Because don't nobody run in a straight line on a football field. It don't work that way, especially if you're a receiver. You got to get some space. You got to run out routes, quick slants, deep ends, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's crazy. So it's a lot. It's a lot more to it than just running the 40. So did y'all see my short today? Well, I made it short. I was going out to check the mail and I said, let's keep it 100. If our offensive line would have blocked anywhere near we did the way we did in 24, Kevin Patullo would still have a job. He would still have a job, and I believe that, regardless of if his play calling ability was any good. The fact that we would have had a consistent run game changes what you can do on offense. So I was just kind of thinking out loud, and I threw that out. So, yeah, pay attention to the feet. These guys, the defensive back, skill positions. All right, skill positions. You looking for speed. You looking for top end speed. Running backs, wide receivers, defensive backs. Those are your skill positions. So you looking for top end speed. So these are the guys that are 4.4 and below, super fast dudes, right? When you look at tight ends, defensive ends, offensive linemen, now you really paying attention to the feet because you want to see how they move because you didn't watch enough tape on Cam Jurgens and Jason Kelsey and PhIladelphia and Lane Johnson, all of them. Watch how they move their feet. That's why Lane, I'm sorry, not Lane, but Jordan PhIladelphia is so good. Jordan PhIladelphia is a prodigy. Because if you ever saw his rugby tape, look at his feet. Look at his feet. And then you got to realize this joker is 6'8" and 300 some pounds, moving the way he moves. When you have feet like that, when you got big guys from Europe, that even the big guys over in Europe still play soccer. So they always got good feet. So you got to look at their feet. So yeah, everybody talking about Sadiq, man. Everybody talking about Sadiq. He made himself some money today. Good for him. He just made some money, and the dude, that defensive back from Ohio State. He just made him some money. I'll just keep blanking on it. This is the nature of the beast. Because all of these guys are looking to take somebody's job. Think about all of the guys that got drafted and made teams last year. Now, you got a whole new crop of guys coming in to take your job. Somebody put a post on Twitter yesterday, and it said, what is the worst memory you have as an Eagles fan? And I put, when I got cut. Somebody was like, oh, damn. So, but every year, somebody coming for your job. Every year. Every year. So, Sadiq is good size, though. Sadiq is what, 244, I think? Let me look at his stats. Let me see. What's his what was his first name? Kenyon Sadiq. 6'3", 245. So that's good size. That's good size. But I gotta see that's why perfect example of what I'm talking about. I gotta go and watch the tape because I want to see what he can do against the defensive end. How do you handle yourself? Or is it all about you getting off the line of scrimmage? I mean, you run a 4-4, bro. I know you can run, and I know you can catch the rock. What do you do with that wide 9 technique? That's what I want to know. Because that's going to matter. Because if you can do both, you become a problem. Because you got elite level speed. You got elite level speed. You got Vernon Davis type skills, bro. That's what you got. He's the same size literally as Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis may have been a smidge heavier. I think Vernon Davis was 6'4". He's 6'3". So, but a 4.40 at 245, you might as well round up to 250. So, yeah, he definitely gonna go top 15, bro. He definitely gonna go top 15. But we got you also got to remember there's a lot of good free agents out there. A lot of good free agents. A lot of good free agents. Yeah, he just made them some money today. Stock went way up. Stock went way up. Just hope the tape matches it. Hope the tape matches it. But everybody talking about him. Him and the guy from Old State that just ran the 4.28. So he made him some money, man. This is where this is where the draft order starts to shake. Because people say, oh, I didn't think he could perform like that. We're gonna have to move him up the board. So now the positioning changes a little bit on what you're looking for in draft day because you didn't know Sadiq was gonna run a 4.40. So a lot of people may not have had him on their draft board. They do now. Because remember, you got some people, you got teams that are going to draft for need, Then you got people that are available that we are gonna draft the best player available. So you got teams that do both. So how many teams are looking for a quarterback? Not a lot. Not a lot. I think you saw Anthony Richardson wants a trade. I think the Jets are still looking for a quarterback. I think Arizona is looking for a quarterback. Pittsburgh. Listen, Carlos. I know Mike. Mike is a friend of mine, and dude, look at the numbers, man. Mike was not a bust, bro. People say that all the time. Mike was not a bust. Mike put up decent stats, but he just didn't live up to the draft pick. But that ain't his fault. That ain't his fault. He did what he was supposed to do. So, yeah, I heard the Jets looking at Tanner McKee. What are they going to do? What's Tanner McKee going to do with a different offense? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So, oh, absolutely. Mike did his thing at the combine, bro. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. He made himself a whole lot of money. But I take umbrage with people that say, like, he was a bust. Look at his career stats. He was all right. He just didn't live up to the first round hype. So, but this is the stuff this is when all these conversations start. Because you're looking at what they doing, how they performing. I didn't think he could run that fast. I didn't think he can jump that high. When I'm looking at a DB, me personally, I do not want a defensive back under 5'10". I would prefer 6 foot and above. If you 6 foot and above and can run a 4.3, you golden in my book. If I was a GM, those are the guys I'm looking for. At that position. Just at that position. So Lawrence Styles Jr. ran a 4.27, I think that was. Zakee Wheatley from Penn State. I wonder if that's Tyrone Wheatley. If they related. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is just the first domino. This is just the first domino. It's gonna be a lot of stuff coming in the upcoming weeks. Yeah, I mean it happens, bro. It happens. Listen, I say this all the time. There's a lot of people in the league that shouldn't be, and there's a lot of people that should be who aren't. That's the way it goes. That is the nature of the NFL. So, but all right, I'm gonna be done early tonight because I want to go to bed early. So, but we'll have more combine stuff going tomorrow. I played marathon a lot yesterday and today, so that'll be going through the weekend. My new shovel came. I got me a new shovel. Went and picked it up at the tractor supply company today. The first time in my life I go to pick up something. I pick up this shovel, right? This is like an ergonomic shovel. And I had 4 people in that store tell me, like, hey, guard that thing with your life because nobody has shovels in stock anymore right now. Because of the storm we just had, nobody has any shovels in stock. Because I ordered that. One of my older shovels shattered. It was just old and it splintered and broke apart as I was shoveling snow. And I had already ordered this one. And it finally came in today. And this thing cost me $54, which ain't crazy, but I had 4 people in the store was like, yo, you better guard that with your life because these things are hard to get right now. So that made me feel kind of good. And then the guy was leaving. One of the guys said, you done went and bought that shovel and watch, we ain't gonna get no more snow. And I said, if it cost me $54 to never have snow for the rest of the year, that was a win. that's a win-win for me. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Pay attention. I would encourage you to watch the combine, write down the names of the people that you like, the performers, and let's get a list together and let's talk about some of them performers. You got to do your homework though. You got to kind of reverse engineer it and go back and watch some game film of it, because then you'll get a sense of what they can and can't do. So, but we're gonna talk about that next week. So, if you got a couple of pick two, let's say pick two people. That's your homework for the weekend. Pick two people in the combine if you watch it. All right. Um, find two names, doesn't matter what position, and then do some homework on them. See if you can reverse engineer it and see what they're about. And then send me the names and then we can talk about it. So, but all right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And I'm gonna see you next week. And as usual, go Birds.